Okay, so you've been tasked to go pick up all the lunches for everybody at your office. Boy, there's a lot of people in that office. And you come in and you're just got this bagged and it just can't wait to just start dropping these off because you know at the end of this thing, your load will be lighter. But wouldn't that be nice is if your mortgage was like that to where you started off kind of heavy, but at the end of it, it was lighter? Well, if you stay tuned, I'll tell you how that can be done. All right, so most of us are familiar with a constant payment mortgage in which we got that on our house note or maybe even a commercial note. Those are very common. But what characterizes a constant payment mortgage, as the name suggests, is that the payment is the same, it's flat. But if your cash flows are very heavy in the beginning, meaning you have a lot of cash to be able to work with because you have tenants, but your tenants are leaving because maybe you're just going to sell the building off, or maybe you're going to do some remodeling on the building, and you really don't want the tenants in there. You're not going to get the cash flows. So what you want is the load, your mortgage load, to go down, and so that's what happens with constant amortization mortgages. Now, what we're going to do in this particular video is we're actually going to build an amortization table in this one so you can study how those cash flows actually go. One of the things you're going to find out from looking at this is that the cash flows look very different, right? So now I hope, now keep in mind, this is part of a series of videos of which I put the links down in the description down below, all right? I hope you like this video. If you do, please give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so you can get more videos that come out. And keep in mind, please keep in mind, we don't keep any scripts over here. There's nothing polished, but the math is good. All right, so enjoy putting this table together and see what we got. Now we're going to take a look at our constant amortization mortgage, and you're going to see some differences here. So we can get this up and running. Well, first of all, let's just build a amortization table. In this particular case, I've set these up the same so we can go back at the end of this, at the end of our 7-part series, and we can really look at how the cash flows are different with the same types of loans. So in our first episode, we built a 20-year term rather than a 30-year. So we'll go ahead here. So the terms are the same. All right, so let's go build this table. So first thing we got to do is, we got to get to 240 months. This is a 20-year mortgage. So you just build that up there, and let's copy this down. And let's drag it down until we get to 240. And this is not very forgiving, so you have to be careful not to get out past 240 because it's very slow going, taking it off. There's 240. All right, there we go. We got 240 payments there. All right. Let's go back up to our very top. And so in our beginning balance, we're going to go ahead and pick our ending balance up here. All right. And then we're going to look at our interest. So here we go. In our interest, we're going to do, it's going to be B7, which is this one right here, times our interest rate, which is right here. Now we want to freeze this so it doesn't adjust with our calculations as we go forward. So there's that. All right, now we're going to do something a little different here. In the past, we actually had a payment button for this one, and we could actually build that out. Here, we're going to have to use a constant amortization. So let's build that one next. All right, so we're going to go equals. We're going to have our loan amount. Okay, we're going to freeze that. That's F4. Okay, and some computers just shift F4. It could be control F4 and others. You just have to find out what you have basically in your computer. And we're going to divide that by our term, which we're going to freeze. Well, let's put that in parentheses, by the way. I don't want to mess with that. Let's just put that in our parentheses. Okay, we're going to put that in parentheses. We're going to freeze it. All right. And then we're going to multiply that by 12 because we got to get that to 240 months. And there is our principal. Okay. In this case, our payment is simple. It's the interest plus our principal. And there we go. That's your payment each month. Or this will adjust. Okay, so now let's take a look and see what our ending balance will be. So we're going to take there minus our principal, and that'll give us our ending balance. Now, here's one of the tricks you can go do. Hopefully Excel will play with us today. Well, if you highlight all that and let that handle get right there and double click it, it should take it all the way down. Don't trust that. Always go down and check and make sure that it actually gave you a zero amortization down here at the bottom. It's zeroed out. That also tells you did it right. So we check that there. All right, now let's find out how, let's take a look at these cash flows real quick. So as we can tell, our interest is starting off high and it goes down, just like in the original constant payment mortgage, but our principal remains the same. When we put these together, our payments begin to get smaller over time. And so you can imagine how your cash flows are going to look. You're going to pay higher. Your cash flows going out are going to be more in the beginning of that loan than at the end of the loan. This is different than the constant payment mortgage. All right, so let's take a look at the cash flows to the bank. So here's our payment. There's that. And let's just see if we can get our baby to, it played with us. All right, good. So we come all the way down here. Here's our cash flows to the bank, okay? Making sure those all work for us. All right, so the bank, because of the fee, actually has, their cash flows are different because of that. We're going to come over here real quick and do the same thing on this side. But in this particular case, we're going to do a negative of our payment. Hit enter. All right, and will it play with us? And it probably will not. Nope, it didn't. So what you got to do is come all the way down and pay attention. I told you right there, it'll get away from you. It's not very forgiving going back up. There it is. Go right there, release it, and it'll give us that. All right, so those are the payments without the fee. Okay, so this cash flow reflects the fee. This is without the fee. And you can take a look at what you paid for that difference in money. So you get your 4.06 in cash or in interest, but your effective rate with the fee in it is 4.32. So you paid a difference of that. And this is also your net present value here to the bank with cash flows, or with the fees, without the fees. Okay, so you've had a chance to put the table together. It was kind of long. It was tedious. I hope if you got lost, I hope you didn't just keep on going through. You could go back and just rewind it and go right back to it and stop and put this thing together. It's good to follow along, okay? But some of the things that you probably pulled out of this was that the payment actually went down rather than stayed level, okay? So you started off with a high payment and kept getting smaller until you actually amortize that payment out. What's held constant, because the name is that, is the amortization. So you paid down on the amortization part of it, okay? Now, what I'm going to do on the closing of this is actually put an end card up here with the next suggested video on it for you, okay? Enjoy.